Well, Alberta suddenly seems to have an image problem. We've seen negative ads in the U.S. media featuring our oil sands just in time for President Obama's visit to Canada. A feature article in National Geographic painted the oil sands as dark satanic mills. These images are working for environmental groups that have been trying to raise attention about the problems associated with the oil sands, but it's deadly for the Alberta government. The province is spending $25 million trying to update and rebrand Alberta's image in the eyes of the world, and it's hoping to keep its main customer for oil and gas happy in the process, the U.S. Our radio blogger Ken Chapman has a few thoughts on all of this. Ken is a lawyer and policy analyst with Cambridge Strategies in Edmonton. Hi there, Ken.
Good day, Don.
Well, what do you think about Alberta's national image? What do you think it is?
I think it's not our national image, it's our international image, and I think it's already been set. It's the issue of the dirty oil and the tar sands and the tailing ponds and the impact on migratory birds and the size of the project. We've been framing this as enormous projects with enormous reserves, with enormous investment and safe and secure oil, all of which is true, but I think there's much more to it, and I think that the population, even the Alberta domestic population, knows there's a lot more to it, but we've not been messaging on those things, and I think that We've really lost this battle already, I think, on the image side to the NGOs and to the aggressive NGOs that are out there eating our lunch on it. And I think it's quite sad.
But, the NGOs or the NGOs, non-governmental organizations, the environmental groups, they have a whole lot less money to spend on branding Alberta than the Alberta government has. How did they manage to grab the ball and run ahead with it?
Because they attract the issue of values. Is that the facts, while interesting, are hardly relevant at all. It's they're framing the issues and they're attaching it to significant values. And the values they're connecting it to are concerns over the planet and climate change and global warming and habitat, social issues as well on the impact that this is having. But it's all of those kinds of things. They've attached it to a different set of values. It's not just about the economy that the oil sands are about, and Albertans know that. So they've just attached to a whole different set of values that are more resonant, even in this recession, than just how big and how fast can we develop this.
Mm-hmm. And Ken, of course, we had the images of the oil-covered ducks flying around the world, and now there's the National Geographic story, which refers to the satanic mills of the tar sands. I'm wondering how you think the Alberta government should be responding to this. If anything, what should Alberta be doing?
Well, I think that we should be telling a better story than we are, and I don't think that we can actually rebut things on a factual basis. I think we have to apply to different kinds of values and change our dynamics.
And so what should we do? How do you do that? I mean, do you have to hire the most expensive or the best and the brightest in the marketing world and do it that way? How do you do it?
That's just the wrong thing to do. What happens is if this comes off as our $25 million advertising campaign or PR campaign, which may be misframed. We haven't actually seen that come out yet. So people are pretty cynical about that, mostly because of the old ways things have been done. If it comes out as greenwash or if it comes out as high gloss or as sloganeering, it's going to do much more harm than good. Now, the people that are doing that, I know, are much more intelligent than that, and the professionals. The question will be, will our politicians catch on and make sure that this is done? We have to give an authentic and authoritative story that is trustworthy. It's like Obama did last night in his speech. He didn't whitewash or greenwash or candy coat anything. He told people what was going on. He was there interested in fixing the problem, not just fixing the blame. And we have to take a much more integrated look at the oil sands. Albertans want to be proud of this, and it is something to be proud of, but not just on the shallow economic interests alone. It's significant on the economy. It's significant to the economy of Canada. Everybody knows that. We get it. But are we doing it on a responsible basis? There's not enough evidence to show that, and that's what this campaign or this advertising public relations campaign has to do.
And Ken, how important would you say is Alberta's image to its ability to continue to sell oil and gas to its largest customer, the U.S.?
That's a very good question. The reality is that our oil is not that much more dirty than you consider Middle East oil when you do it on a full cost accounting basis. What the Iraq war cost the Americans on a monthly basis, the last figure I heard was $10 billion a month. plus the carbon implications of bringing it over here, plus the loss of life. You can justify our oil on that basis alone, but that's not good enough. We have to consider the planet and future generations. We can do so much better with this, and part of it is the effort around carbon capture and sequestration. We'll do it with that as well, so we're getting there, but by gosh, we got a long way to go, and we got a much better story to tell, and we're sure not telling it very well.
Ken, it's great to have your insights as always. Thanks for joining us.
Talk to you soon.
That's Ken Chapman. He's our radio blogger on Wildrose. He's a lawyer and policy analyst with Cambridge Strategies in Edmonton. You can find his blog at ken-chapman.blogspot.com.